You're watching the Mortgage Busters and Investment Show, and you know this show is all about paying off your mortgage as fast as possible, but also having investments so you could retire and live the good life. Adrian.
Howdy.
How you going?
Good.
What's going on? We're getting inquiries from
a lot of SMSs now, because we're getting SMSs now.
Yeah,
so people are asking for the report as well, the Bust Your
Mortgage report. And what does that do for the onlooker, the viewer just watching this show?
It gets all their information all in one place, shows them what they can do right now, what they can't do right now, and what they can look to do into the future as well. So,
which is the most important thing.
Most important, yeah.
And
help get rid of their mortgage and
pay it off.
Do something for retirement.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Our special guest today is Paul.
Yes, Paul.
Welcome to the show, Paul. Paul
Pleasure.
Ebbing from Joint Property Australia.
Thanks for having me.
So what's that all about, Joint Property Australia?
Joint Property Australia is designed to help people get into the property market, to own their own home. The stats are saying that by 2017, over 60% of the Australian population won't own a home.
2017, that's not far away.
That's it. 2017, 60% won't own a home. So what we do at Joint Property Australia...
You mean they won't own it, can't even get into a home?
They can't, yeah. They'll resign themselves to the fact that they're out. They can't afford to. So we've developed a unique algorithm / calculation.
So hang on. What do you mean by algorithm? Is that like a dance or something?
No. It's a set process with an end result, and the end result is that you'll end up with a homeowner, right? So it's
like a formula.
Yeah, yeah. We developed a formula. I'll use that word, formula. And so let's use an example of a young couple, say in the late 20s, looking to get into the property market. They've got a reasonable job, they're underway, and each time they go to have a look at the property market, the prices are going up. So
they do.
Yeah.
As it does almost daily.
They've got to keep saving more and more cash to enter the market. So they come to Joint Property Australia, and they can buy a property for 60% of its value. So they could buy a $500,000 property for $300,000.
So all of a sudden, everyone that's watching this show, their ears have just pricked up, right? And they go, hang on, how does this work? You know, the value of the property is $500,000, but you can buy something at $360,000.
And
$300,000.
$300,000. The kicker is that they're actually never going to pay more than that. But I'll come to that later. But essentially, they'll go in and buy 60%, and we'll have, hence the name Joint Property Australia. So we'll have 40% mini property investor come in. So that'll be a family member. So let's say for all intents and purposes, it's the folks, okay? So the folks buy 40% of the property, and the kids buy 60% of the property, yeah? The loans are completely separate. So that's two loans against one security. So they're guaranteeing the loans through the security guarantee, but they're completely separate. So you're assessed on your 60% portion only, hence why we're saying that you can buy it for $300,000. Yeah.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that. So what if the parents don't want to get involved? Is there another way in?
Look, there is other products that we have. There's a builder that's approached us recently, Eco1 Developments, who looking to sponsor Joint Property Australia. We've by way of taking a stake, a similar stake share in the property over time, so that you can still staircase your way up from there.
And that's still a new property too, so that's...
Yeah, so the guys are, for example, one of the support programs that they've got for us is that when we talk about the kids buying 60% of the property, right? They got a 60% mortgage, and they've got to pay rent on the portion they don't own. Okay, so
the other 40% is factored, as a part of the rent.
Yeah, it's like a mini property investor. Yeah, so you have to be, and this is the key point here. You have to be able to service the whole lot. Mm-hmm. But the problem is, as we know, how do they get into the full market when they need over $100,000 in cash, and they've got to get a loan to service the full amount? But they can service it. They've got a good job. They're paying a lot in rent. They can actually service the whole lot. So they start on a smaller scale at 60%, and let's say the parents have taken a 40% stake in the property, and they pay their mortgage and they pay rent, which works out to be the interest of the other party.
The total amount.
Of the 40%.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay.
So they're always paying, which is good because when they own it outright,
They're still paying.
nothing's changed.
100%. Now, one of the, and I'm sure I'm hearing people out there right now saying, "Whoa, wait, why don't you just get the folks to write up a
That's
guarantee?"
the first question I was going to ask. Yeah.
Well,
Well, they don't. That's why.
well, number one.
What's the answer?
Number one, they don't. Well, the thing is that somewhere in a bank vault, there's a pledge of $150,000 if the kids don't pay their loan. Hence, your asset base is exposed, right? So you're not risking the family home in this model. You're not risking your asset base in this model. Let's say the grandparents or parents who have got property investments. Okay, this is like a mini property investor. You take a 40% stake in it, yeah? You're getting paid rent like you would normally in a rental market. So the whole country is driven by property investment. As I quoted before, over 60% of the Australian population says, I'm out. I mean, that's scary.
Yeah, very scary.
That's very scary.
Absolutely.
Plus, this is standalone, like you said. It's
Yeah.
individual. It's not.
Yeah.
They won't have their house sold up on them if.
No. So that's right. So the security is on that property, okay? So you take a 40% stake for the folks, a 60% stake for the kids. We've got a joint property legal agreement that dictates the terms and conditions of the journey, and everyone plays. We play good cop and bad cop, right? So. Because the parents don't want to be going to Mary and say, Mary, you haven't paid your loan.
Yeah, correct.
We want them to come to us. So say, well, Mary, what are you doing? Like, you got a joint property legal agreement here that says you have to do these things.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah, sorry. But let's say, for example, Mary decides that she doesn't want to. She's getting bored with paying this mortgage anymore. She disappears, right? So, because it's two separate loans, that's really important to remember. Two separate loans against this one security.
Correct.
Okay. There'll be facilities out there that say, well, everyone does two separate loans, right? But if I don't pay it and my loan's with you, then I'll come after you. So you're not paying. You got to start forking in for his share, Whereas this is two loans, one security. If one stops paying, the finance is saying, well, what are you doing? We need to get this sorted.
Two loans, one security. We've got to go to an ad break. We'll refresh. Okay.
Yep.
You're watching the Mortgage Busters and Investment Show, and we'll be back very shortly. You're back with the Mortgage Busters and Investment Show, and we're with Paul Ebbels. Paul, with regards to Joint Property Australia, we've been talking about this. In this scenario, there's two owners or two ownerships against one title.
Yeah, so there's two separate loans against the one security. Okay, so we're signing a document together that we both agree to share the security. Okay, so that's why I'm assessed on my 60% and they're assessed on their 40%. Right. So hypothetically, if someone's not paying, it's not going to default across to the 40% loan, okay? Because it's secured against the security.
So there's obvious upside to this in this scenario, in this joint ownership scenario.
Yep.
So in general terms, how does it play out?
Yep. Okay. Well, let's use the $500,000 property, $300,000 mortgage. So,
which is a fantastic scenario.
Let's go back a step. So essentially, what we do is we'll have a consultation with all the parties, and the consultations are quite interesting in the aspect where the folks are there and the kids are there, and it's Q&A.
Does everyone want Turek? In Caulfield?
Well, you know what the answer to that is?
Right.
Most people just want to get into the market, really.
Yeah, 100%. And some people, they don't want to live out up in the Buckner North if there's such a town. They generally want to live fairly close to where they are if they've got a choice. And I think a perfect example is a client we're working with now. They're looking to buy $700,000 property in Elsternwick, right? Now, they can service that. They've both got good jobs, but they don't have enough cash to get into the market at that level. Absolutely not.
So in other words, you're telling me they can't do 20%?
Well, they can. In a joint property scenario, they absolutely can.
In that scenario, yes, of course.
Absolutely can.
Yeah.
But
they couldn't do it on their own?
No.
Yeah,
no.
right.
No, they didn't have enough startup cash, and that's one of the big kickers is each time you save enough money, this is what people are coming to. Each time we save enough money, we go out to the market, we go to an auction.
Property's gone up.
Property's gone up.
Yeah.
Well, on the day of the auction.
Exactly.
It goes up. So what we're doing is our mandate is to help address housing affordability. We're giving people a leg up in the property. You know, we've got.
I like that mandate. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
No, seriously, yeah.
Yeah.
People are struggling out there. They want to get
it's huge.
property ownership, and this is the way in.
And why pay rent?
Correct.
Well, look, as we do.
40% rent.
When we do the service in the full amount, But when we do the calculations around how it's looking, and I'll say, well, okay, so
You mean the algorithms?
the algorithm, that's it. Yeah, you'll get used to it.
Yeah.
You get in the group. It's you'll say, right, your 60% mortgage is this, and the rent you're paying to the folks is this, and they'll go, well, that's less than I'm paying for rent now. And I said, well, how's that possible? I said, it's okay. So going back to what I said earlier is that the country is expanding at a rapid rate of knots where property investors are buying everything and renting it out. So those people that are out of the market and
They're out of the market.
They're out of the market. And,
Correct. See, the other side of the coin is that for the parents, they're not exposing themselves to a whole brand new investment property that, that's
And a
3, 4
stranger, correct.
But they're getting a rental return on 40% commitment.
Yep.
Which is pretty good.
They're not out of pocket at all.
Correct, yes.
Zero, not 1 cent.
I suppose this is creating discipline also for the...
Huge, yeah, huge. I'm not sure what reference where, well, wasn't Dad just write out a great big fact check and give it to them? Well, who does that,
Well, some people do this, but I'm starting to see real benefits to this, yeah.
My daughter was my first client, and she's 21, her boyfriend's 23, and they've on their journey, they've got a house and land package down in on the coast, just out of Geelong, and she said, Dad, what do I need to do this for? Like, this is okay, don't worry about it. We just want to get you started. We just want to get you started. So she's already getting a discipline of paying 60% with her boyfriend. In the grand scheme of things, they still live with their folks. So they're away. They're underway. Whether they build in a year or two, that's another story.
So, and if she hadn't done this, right? Where would she have been? How long would it have taken for her to, secure something?
Oh, look,
on her own. Just have a go.
She's in a passionate job. She's a vet nurse. Vet nurses, not the highest paid people in the country. She wouldn't. I don't think she could.
It'd be years.
She can't. Well, I don't think
But it might not be at all.
No, she can't. Correct. No, that's the reality. Is as the prices continue to grow, through the supply and demand of where we are,
we are at 500,000 for house and land packages. I mean, come on. We never
That's
thought
cheap.
that was
That's
possible.
actually cheap.
No, but we never thought that would ever happen.
Yeah,
So
well,
$1 million's not going to be far away.
Yeah, don't even bring up.
That's happening now.
Hi, first-time buyers. Only
Don't
$1
even-
million.
Don't even bring up the New South Wales factor. I mean,
Yeah, of course.
that's
Of
huge
course.
up there. That's huge.
Ah, yes.
So the 60% buyer starts with their mortgage. They're paying the rent. They're servicing it. They're servicing the full amount, and it's a stairway. It's a staircasing their way to full ownership.
I like that analogy.
Yeah, they just slowly take their way there, and it's not the end result could be 3 years where they exit the folks. It could be 5 years, particularly when you're dealing with close family. It could be out to 7 years. Who really cares? The fact is that they're in 60%. They could staircase up out to 70, 80% and hold, staircase up a bit further and hold. They're in the market.
What about bigger families? because we were talking about that once.
Yeah,
You know, when
yeah
you've got-
well,
7 or 8 people involved, they can do that too.
they could.
There's no limit here, is there?
Let me digress just a little bit to.
We've got 1 minute.
Oh, okay.
No.
In the 70s, immigrants of certain cultures, they went out to the western suburbs and they just built houses. They all lived together in one house, the families, they built a house and they built a house and they keep building it until everyone's got a house.
Of course.
Right? They work together, it's a team. This is what this is. You work together as a team with the outcome of your kids having a property.
Wow, that's a goodie.
I love this.
Good for the
I love the way you just explained everything. It's team playing. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah,
Huge.
yeah. And there's power. There's power in numbers.
Well, the thing with the bigger, larger families is you're talking about teams. Is that analogy is connected to remember the 2 loans, 1 security. Okay, so if you've got 4 or 5 siblings that say, all right, let's put in $3,000 each, or something like that, and let's buy this property.
Fantastic. We've got to go to a break.
Oh, right.
You're watching the Mortgage Busters and Investment Show, and we'll be back shortly. You're back with the Mortgage Busters and Investment Show. Paul, so we're talking about power in numbers here, family members getting together and...
Yeah, we are. Look, my example's been based around the parents being the 40% stake, but it could be 2 sisters and a cousin. It could be anybody. It could be the postman.
Well, friends can do it.
Friends can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the postman.
And the posting.
It can be anyone because, they've got people have to people. It's a new concept, right? So.
But it's working.
I get the what's the catch, right? Well, there's no catch. I said we're using property investment strategy in reverse. We're using that methodology to help people get into property. If there's people out there who don't have the family that can help them kick off, we have other options for them, and this is where. Eco One Developments comes in. It's a builder who's approached us and said, well, wow, really love what you guys are doing. So I played a bit of hardball with these guys and said, well, that's great, you can like it, but how can you help us out? Can you give us this? Can you give us that? And they've come up with a few options there whether they can take a small stake. So. There's always a way, and what's going to happen over time?
So they can become the 40% investor.
Yeah. It could be at that level. Yeah, it could be a slightly
some
less
variation
or
of.
something. Yeah. And I pushed pretty hard with this company, and I said, look, okay, well, that's great. You're going to help us out with other product options with people who don't have family and friends, but if they come in and they're doing it with family. What can they get? And they can get some benefits with paying the parents' rent for the first 12 months, things like that. So
there's a lot of options available.
Yeah. So
have you got family and friends?
No.
well, the important thing to think.
I need an investor.
The important thing there is what I was summarising is that, I don't want people sitting there thinking, well, okay. Oh, that's all right. There's family and friends to help them out. There is other options, and over a period of time, we're going to get people come through, who, if they don't fit any of our products, who knows? They might become friends and partner up together. See, teams of people can do the 60-40, the 60-40, and they can just keep going. It's no different to buying on your own.
This is almost a little bit of crowdfunding, a little bit. Maybe you could get people together, people that haven't got. Some parents don't have the capacity to do anything to help anyone. It just happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Some people just don't have that. The equity's not there, or divorce.
But it's really a creative solution.
Yeah.
Yes.
With a payoff.
Yeah.
From both sides.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
help.
It's like that's right. It's like going back to what I said just before the break. There is that there's certain cultures in the 70s who just did this beautifully.
Absolutely.
They're all millionaires now.
They're pulled together.
Right? They're all millionaires.
Right? People.
But that's a big point.
They are millionaires.
Yeah,
they held on. They didn't sell.
Yeah.
Great lifestyles. Yeah.
We need to pull together. We need also some people out there that have got a portfolio of property investments, and they say, well, hell yeah, we'll do some 40% mini property investors. You know, that could be 5 or 6 families that they've helped. And so not only are they getting their rent like they would in a normal property, right? They're getting a highly passionate home buyer.
Motivated
Motivated in that 60%, right? And they get the added satisfaction knowing that they've just helped someone buy a home.
Okay, this is making a lot more sense, you know, as we chat away.
Algorithms?
Algorithms, yeah.
So we've got a couple of minutes before the end of the show.
Yep.
But I think it'd be great if you could just recap and summarise the whole, like, the actual procedure, you know,
Okay.
in a summary sort of form. Yeah.
Okay. So essentially what's happening at the moment is that people will inquire, they'll have directly with the company, and we will have general conversation about what they're wanting to do, general information. Then they'll go away, they're encouraged to go away and talk to the other parties that want to be involved. They book a consultation. We go out, we do some hard calculations and some numbers around how it looks.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can move forward from there, then they're referred to a finance broker who's specifically educated to pull these together, and they'll get pre-approval. Now, along the way, they'll get the joint property legal agreement and schedule of events that's going to occur. And
So it's all formalised and legal and thorough.
Yep. So there's legal advice provided, so they get the legal advice with the joint property legal agreement, and they get the finance through a finance broker as well. So we're the facilitators, we're the good cop and the bad cop. Okay, so we'll put in what in the schedule of events is what they want to occur. So they'll start at 60%, they'll staircase their way to full ownership. Right? There's no drop.
Which is, I think the way you describe that is to staircase your way to full ownership.
Yeah. What period of
which
time
is
is
such
it?
an upside. Fantastic.
Yeah, sorry. What period of time is it?
Ultimately 3 years. I think that it's best to get the investor out as soon as you can, but there's no drop dead clauses in this. This is really important to understand. It must be done by this point. It must be done by that point. Our modelling shows 3 to 5 years would be enough. Equity in there for them to be able to exit the investor.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. Paul, that's been very enlightening, and there's a lot of upside to what we've been talking about. And I think we should have you on again next week to re-clarify and maybe talk more about this whole scenario, which is fantastic.
I'd be happy to. Yeah.
Well, help people get homes.
Absolutely.
Yep, that's what
a
we're
leg
for.
up and doing it the right way.
Yep.
Legally.
Absolutely.
And a lot of upside.
Yep.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Paul.
Pleasure. Thanks so much for having me.
Adrian, bust your mortgage report.
Yes.
And I'm talking about busting your mortgage.
Yes. Give us a call on our 1300 TMB show.
And the number is?
1300 TMB show. Or go to the website and inquire there.
SMS?
0431 588 188.
Again, that number is?
0431 588 188.
Fantastic. So, I look forward to having Paul again next week.
Yes.
Wonderful. All right, so you've been watching the Mortgage Busters and Investment Show. We'll be back with Adrian and Paul and myself again next week. All the best and see you next time.